Hey you, what up? I'm Maryam, welcome to my channel or welcome back. In today's video, I'm reviewing a new foundation from the drugstore, a $7 foundation from Essence. Essence now has a foundation and it's called Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. The reason why I'm excited about it is, well, my favorite primer is from Essence and I've been raving about it in my past 10 videos or so. I've been wearing it pretty much ever since I discovered it, so I have really high hopes for this. The price, however, at $7, I will admit is a little bit cheap for a foundation, so I'm wondering how good this really is. If it's amazing, then guess what? We've just found an amazing $7 foundation, but if it's not, you're gonna have to watch until the end to find out. All right, that's enough talking. Let's jump right into this video. Expect a wear test at the end as always, and a cute little look, you know how I do. Remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wednesday and Sunday videos, you know the drill. Let's do it. I wasn't really sure what I was going to film for this Wednesday's video until last night when I opened up my packages and I got this cute AF soft box. NPR, you are pretty. Thank you very much. And it's from Essence Cosmetics. This includes basically the entire shade range of their new foundation, the Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. So there's 31 shades. It's a $7 foundation. It's available at Ulta or Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada for all you Canadians. Formulated with skin-loving ingredients such as hyaluronic acid and aloe vera. So it's very nurturing for the skin, provides a flawless natural finish, buildable coverage that lasts up to 24 hours. I am gonna do a wear test, not a 24-hour wear test because I ain't that crazy, but I'm gonna go for as long as I can throughout the day and basically just see how this wears on my skin. I love this PR package. It's so super cute. I appreciate all these testers that they sent. The shade range, judging from just looking at these testers, is not what I would expect. I was kind of hoping that it would be a little bit more evenly spread out. I feel like there are a lot of lighter shades and not so many deeper shades. Like all of this falls in the tan category to me. So there's really only 3 deeper shades. Not loving that. So essentially Essence Cosmetics has just now entered into the foundation game. So we're gonna give them a fair chance. I like the fact that they also sent me this really cute makeup baking sponge, or basically a blender, and a brush. Looks like a nice tight kabuki brush with a flat top. Seems promising. So I will be testing all of this out. But first, I think we actually should go ahead and swatch these shades since I have all of these shades, and let's see what these shades look like on an actual flesh tone. Swatch model. Let's make your foundation's debut. Did you just exhale?
I'm sorry, I was busy doing something and so I was like, ah.
Really? You have one job.
I know.
We have zoomed into my face, nice and close, high skin, high pores, hello. Basically now I'm gonna attempt to find my shades. The full size shades that were sent to me were 100, 110 Cool Beige, and 120 Cool Sand. From the swatches, I noticed that the undertones were kind of all over the place. I noticed that some of the cools were leaning very olive, especially on Lee's light olive skin tone, and some of the neutrals were, I would say, warmer than the warms. It was kind of weird. The shade range definitely is not evenly spread out whatsoever. There's really only 3 deep shades, and then there's a lot of medium skin tones in here and not really too many fair shades either. So keep that in mind, full transparency. I'm gonna test out this warm caramel shade 100 because I'm thinking that is probably my closest shade match. Let me quickly talk about the packaging. Squeezy tube. Ooh, this is a product that is made in Italy. Aside from hyaluronic acid, I do want to mention that this foundation does contain some talc as well as some cyclopentasiloxane and trimethylsiloxysilicate. I don't know who can pronounce these words, but basically those are just some silicones, some compounds that help these liquid foundations set to a dry finish. But the talc is something that I just want to bring up to some of you who might not be into talc. Talc is pretty much in everything from baby powder to detergent to obviously cosmetics, but a lot of brands have been steering away from talc because there could potentially be a link to carcinogens. Just throwing that out there. But a lot of brands still use talc, and apparently so does Essence. I don't know if you guys are interested in ingredients at all, but let me know if you want me to continue going down the ingredients path when reviewing foundations especially. All right, testing shade 100. Honestly, I think that's probably as close of a match as I'm gonna get. But let's just go ahead and test a couple of shades around the shade 100 because I saw that the Neutral Suede 090, which is a step down, and apparently a neutral undertone, I noticed that it was very close. A little bit more pink and also a pinch lighter. Honestly, this could probably work as well. It's weird because on my neck, it doesn't look as great of a match as the 100, but on my face, which is oddly discolored, not so odd. I used to really with my skin when I was a teenager. Now it's discolored and it doesn't match the rest of me. And it's a lot cooler and just a lot paler than what my skin tone is actually supposed to be. But yeah, both of these kind of work. Let me also go ahead and test the shade 110, which is Cool Beige. I'm just gonna reach for the tester size because I already opened them for the swatches. So this is a cool undertone, but is it me or is it looking a lot more neutral than the neutral? And then on my neck, it does definitely look more pink. Man, she is confused. I'm gonna try 120 Cool Sand as well. Okay, this one ain't it. This one is not it. It's so pink on my neck. It's weird on my face, so I don't think it's a match. The best match for my neck, I will say, is probably one of these first two, either the 100 or the 90. So I guess what I'm thinking of doing is testing both of them. I'm just gonna test the shade 100 on this side of the face and shade 90 on this side of the face. Why not? And then we can move on from there. Gonna wipe all of this off of my neck very gently. All right, so before I go on, if you're new to my channel, let me just tell you about my skin type. I am oily. I'm oily AF, as a matter of fact. My skin produces oils within, I would say, an hour after having my foundation on. It's pretty annoying and it does tend to act up and produce more oil in the summer months or obviously in humidity. I also live in New York, which has a humid climate, unfortunately. So it's not an ideal situation for me. My skin is a lot more balanced when I am somewhere that has a dry climate, for example, LA or Vegas. My skin actually thrives in that kind of environment. It becomes a little bit more balanced and a little bit more normal. But as it stands, I'm an oily skin type and I'm also acne prone. But I do also believe that acne is a psychosomatic manifestation, especially if it's stress related, especially if you believe that your acne will come, it will come. That's just the way that the mind works, in my personal opinion. Okay, enough talking. I'm gonna apply my Essence, My Skin Perfection Tinted Primer that I've been raving about. You guys already know. And you know what? In my mind, I'm thinking that primers and foundations from the same brand are formulated to work well together. So I'm gonna use it on both sides of the face because I'm oily and I need a primer. And I love this primer, it's so, so great. I hear there's also like an Ulta sale going on and like you can get this primer at 50% off and it's already so, so affordable. Linking everything down below because I hear this is going to be discontinued soon. I hope it's not the case. In case it is the case, do stock up. I did. Using my Charlotte Tilbury Complexion Perfection brush just to buff that across the skin. I already did my skin prep off camera as I do pretty much before any foundation review. Let me know if you want to see my skin prep at some point. But do keep in mind that skincare is something that I consider to be extremely individual, which is why I don't really do skincare reviews. Instead, I like to talk about empties, just products that my skin has been loving and I've used up to the point of empty. I do that on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me on the gram, do so, because it's basically just an extension to everything that I do here on YouTube. It's a lot more life and style. All right, primer is all over my skin. It is looking mighty fine. All right, so 100 warm caramel on this side of the face. Here we go. Okay, I'm also gonna wear that on my forehead. I'm gonna use their brush, the Makeup Buffer brush from Essence that came with the PR package. And I am going to glide that on. Smooth and pretty seamless. Nice, not bad at all. All right, let's do that on the forehead. The coverage, I would say, is sheer to medium, not very full at all, but it is said to be buildable, so we will build it up, or at least we will attempt to do so. Looks really great on my forehead. I like this shade match. Looking just a little bit pinky in my monitor though in comparison to my neck. Are we seeing that or is it just me? Let me attempt to build this up, and I'm also gonna use the sponge just to test that out. I'm gonna add one more drop. Maybe that's more than a drop, I don't know. It's kind of dripping. I'm gonna just kind of spread that out with my finger. And by the way, these nails, these peeling nails, I am not this girl. I'm not. I swear to you. I know like a lot of you probably think it's not a big deal. Chipping nails, it happens to everyone. But this is something that bothers me deeply. Like I cannot stand looking at my hands when they look like this, which is why I never wear regular polish because I just hate that chipping feeling. Speaking of nails and polish, another reason to follow me on the gram is because I do all of my nail tutorials and even my pedi tutorials on the gram. So all the nails that you see me wear, whether it's fake nails or gel nails or nail polish, I have tutorials for literally everything. The Swatch model was kind enough to wet the sponge for me before I started. And I think a wet sponge is absolutely necessary with this foundation because it seems to be setting really, really fast. I do see it building, and that I like, but it is one of those products that you have to apply fairly quickly. And that very well may actually be caused by the talc, because talc is generally used in powders. So the fact that this is a hydrating foundation with talc is something to be noted. I'm just gonna observe this side of the face. I'm not gonna say that this foundation is as pore smoothing as the primer is. I could still see my pores in my monitor, which is pretty far away from me, like at least 7 or 8 feet away from me. And I see it. I mean, I see my acne scars here. I see my imperfections. I do like the coverage. It is nice, but it's not super smoothing. So it is what it is. All right, let's test out shade 90 Neutral Suede, which to me look kind of olive. Like, does this look neutral to you? Not to me. These shades are very similar. And I would say I can definitely wear either one. Although, looking at my face right now in the monitor, I think this one is a better match to my neck than this here. Even though this is a warm undertone, I actually think it's more neutral. And this is a truer warm. If you look at a warm as having golden and yellow undertones, this has a little bit more of golden as well as pink or peach undertones. So this to me is a truer neutral than this, which is labeled as a neutral, but really it's a warm. But just looking at my face, you really can't tell the difference. I will also say I kind of appreciated the sponge application a little bit more. I feel like it sealed in my pores just a little bit better, just a little bit tighter than here. Here, I think the brush method was kind of just dragging the product around. So I think what I'm gonna do is just pat whatever's remaining on this little sponge over my porous areas and just reseal all that in. Maybe I need a little bit more product. And then sealing it in. Or maybe it's because I used 2 coats or 2 layers of foundation on this side of the face and only 1 on this side of the face. Let's test. Let's go for a second coat. And let's just give it that nice even coverage all across the cheek. I think the second coat was not a great idea. 1 layer is more than enough. I don't think it builds up very well. It kind of just like sticks to itself. And basically it doesn't give you like an even layer of coverage once you apply that second layer. Even though it is buildable in terms of coverage, it's not as seamless upon application the second time around. This is the skin. We're gonna run with it. Let's now fix it up. So what I'm gonna do is use my ERBORIAN BB cream under my eyes, you know, to color correct. Then a lighter shade to brighten. I don't know, this brush is kind of just okay. It looks like it's pretty sturdy at first, but then the bristles are actually not as compact as you would think. And so because of that, I think it drags the product around as opposed to like stamping and sealing it in. All right, so now let's reach for some powder. I'm gonna go for my LYS powder from my previous video. I love this powder and I wanna test it out further. Here I have the shade Translucent. I really like the way that it laid under my eyes over this exact BB Crayon concealer. Now this powder I think is so super smoothing. It really does a great job of mattifying and just closing up the pores. Right now I'm just using a soft detailing type of brush for the under eye and for around the nose. Like that. And I'm gonna use a big fluffy brush to just seal in the product across my face. Oh, you guys, so I'm wearing this little snake earring here because I wanted to remind myself to tell you about a crazy dream I had last night about snakes. So we got cut off just when I started talking about my dream. Nice, nice. But anyway, my powder is now on. For my bronzer, going back to LYS Beauty, review on this whole line in my previous video. linking up here, down there. All right, the shade that I use is Harmony, and it is a gorgeous shade. I'm gonna go for a subtle bronzing effect today. Not too much, just enough, but I do love this shade. This dream that I had last night about snakes, and it totally freaked me out while I was actually dreaming. But then when I woke up, I just went back to my typical sentiment. I'm just dreaming, and there's probably no meaning to it outside of the fact that everything that you dream is probably subconscious or unconscious stuff, you know? Anyway, so in this dream, I was watching a TikTok, because that's typically what I do before I go to bed. So in the dream, I was watching a TikTok of this guy getting out of his car and showing off his house in the woods. And as he turned the camera from his face to his house, all of these snakes, just these massive, colorful snakes, started spiraling their way up to his house. And then some of these snakes, let me tell you, they did not even look like snakes. They were snakes in the shape of horses / kangaroos. Some of them had babies, some of them had pouches. It was honestly rather frightening and disgusting. And I am not someone who likes snakes in general. They're not cats. And I'm a cat mom. Like, everyone has a right to exist. Yes, I love all animals, but snakes are just like not my pet of choice, you know? So anyway, all you dream interpreters out there, tell me what this dream means. I also had a dream the other day that I actually pooped out a snake. TMI. But it was a dream. Oh Lord. All right, be kind with your interpretations. Don't be like, your enemies are out to get you. I don't got no enemies. I'm not Drake. So that is what I call a subtle bronze. Just a little bronze. All right, so I've got this new Charlotte Tilbury Hyaluronic Happy Kiss Color Balm, 4 shades. So I'm gonna test it out in today's video. Oh, there's one called Pillow Talk. I'm pretty sure I'm wearing Pillow Talk lip liner. The medium though. Okay. Oh, I love. I kind of love. Okay, lashes time. Laura Mercier Lash Curler, my favorite one. Game changer one. I'm gonna curl my lower lashes as well. MIZON Collagen Fix Mascara for the win. Someone asked me in a previous video to do a roundup of all my favorite mascaras, and I'm sorry, I don't think I could do that because there's only like 5 mascaras that I like. I'm actually currently testing out another mascara that you may or may not hear about depending on how it goes. But right now, this one is my safe bet. It's the mascara that I always go for because it does everything that I need it to do. And doesn't she suddenly look a little bit more put together than before? I think so. I'm gonna show you a close-up of what my skin looks like because it's that moment in the video. All right, here it is. See what I'm talking about? The pores. Something about these pores is not to my liking. They're just a little too emphasized and not smoothed out enough. Even with the powder, which is very smoothing, I just feel like this side of the face wasn't applied correctly. On this side of the face, you can still see pores, but it's a little bit more tamed, I would say. It's not as dramatic. The forehead, I don't know, like what are these little breakouts on my forehead? Just don't feel like this foundation is very texture friendly. I'm not really seeing a smoothing action. Perhaps it's because maybe it's just like freshly applied on, maybe it needs to set. But anyway, this is it. So as it stands, I will say that the foundation is okay. I like it, I don't love it. The fact that I have more than one shade match is, I guess, nice for me, but it's definitely not the case for everyone, so who cares if it's nice for me? I guess the real test will come with the wear test. So it's time to cue in some of that good old time warping music and just see how this Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation wears throughout the day. Let's do it. Wear test time. I don't know, you guys, I don't know. I feel like I'm just not having good luck with foundations lately. What is going on? All right, let's zoom in and let's observe my skin. I don't love it. I do not love this 8-hour wear test. I'm not pleased. I don't like how oily I look. Moreover, I don't like how textured I look. I kind of had high hopes for this Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation because of the Essence My Skin Perfector Tinted Primer. I love this primer so much. It's so inexpensive. It's one of the best primers out there, and my hopes were set really high for this foundation. Also, the ingredients in this, hyaluronic acid plus aloe vera, everything seemed very promising. And even with the fact that it had talc, I actually assumed that it would wear really well, like a powder. I'm not happy with this wear test. I don't like how textured even my forehead looks in this footage right now. Moreover, there's not really great coverage. It's kind of sheer. It's not really covering up any of my acne spots here. On the other hand, I will say that I did ask Lee for his opinion, and his opinion was a little bit different from mine. He said, well, for $7, what can you expect? Which I totally hear and I respect. I think if you are someone with pretty healthy skin, good skin already, then you'll probably like this foundation because it is very cheap. It doesn't have a lot of coverage and it kind of just gives you a little veil of a color. But if you are someone who is oily AF like me, I don't think you're going to have such a successful wear test. I'm not really sure how this would look on a dry or mature skin type, but as far as oily and acne prone is concerned, I'm just not too pleased. So will I give it another go? Yeah, I will, because I like the price, I like the brand. The shade range could be a little bit more evenly spread out, but in my medium shade range, I have a couple of shade matches. So I'm definitely gonna give it another chance, but I'm not floored and I am not completely happy. So that is my story, that is my wear test. Those are my 2 final cents and I'm sticking to it. So with that said, I'm going to zoom on out so that you can check out my next couple of videos, one that you may like, and my most recent video right here in case you haven't watched it. And subscribe. I love you guys. Mwah.